I know there's no such thing as a perfect remake, partly because of personal preferences for every player, and partly because it is impossible to exactly replicate the original experience of a game. And some people don't even want that in their remakes, so goes back to personal preference. That being said, Trails in the Sky First Chapter is as close to a perfect remake as I have ever encountered. A game that highlights the greatness of the original, updates and expands where needed without bloating the game, and gives those who have never played the Trails series a fantastic opportunity to do so. It feels great to say that Trails in the Sky First Chapter is now the default recommendation for me to those trying to get into the Trails series. And if older fans want to re-experience the magic of this series, this is the game I'd recommend for you too. Trails in the Sky First Chapter is a hybrid combat RPG developed by Nihon Falcom and published in the West by Gung Ho Entertainment. It is a remake of 2004's Trails in the Sky First Chapter, a turn-based game that came west courtesy of Xseed Games in 2011 and originally released for PC and later PSP in the West, along with mobile, PS3, and PS Vita for Japan. That game launched the Trails sub-series of the larger Legend of Heroes series, a series of interconnected games set in the land of Zemuria that has 13 games in it now, not counting enhanced ports or this remake. As the series creeps closer and closer to the big finale, the developers wanted to go back and explore the beginnings of the series as well, leading to this remake. The remake would use Falcom's new game engine developed for the Trails Through Daybreak games and was revealed at a Nintendo Direct in August of 2024. The remake became the first ever Falcom game to receive a simultaneous worldwide release on September 19, 2025, when it was released for PC, Switch, Switch 2, and PS5. The remake has achieved strong critical and fan praise, and while sales numbers at this point are hard to come by, for Japan, Trails in the Sky's combined platform physical sales topped the charts, and the US Steam concurrent player count was the highest a Nihon Falcom game has ever achieved. That's not to say that everything has been rosy, as the game released with inconsistent regional pricing, some of which has been fixed, and limited run games and Clear River Games failed to deliver the collector's editions on time. Personally, my copy still has not arrived. Once people have gotten their hands on the game though, the feedback has been enthusiastically positive, and it's even gotten recognition in the greater gaming community, with the nomination for the Best Remake/Remaster award from the Golden Joystick Awards. For those of you who do not know, the story of Trails in the Sky takes place in the Kingdom of Liberl on the continent of Zemuria. The events of the game are taking place in the midst of the Orbal Revolution, which has transformed society with new technologies such as flying and more complicated machinery, and has plenty more developments and surprises to go. You play as Estelle Bright, a girl looking to join the Bracer Guild, a group of citizens who take on jobs from people for everything from fighting monsters to finding lost items. Estelle's father, Cassius Bright, is a bracer, and she is determined to follow in his footsteps and then step even further than he could. She is joined by Joshua Bright, who was rescued by Cassius on one of his jobs and has lived with them ever since. Together, Estelle and Joshua will begin their bracer journeys. They will meet and make many friends, and a few foes along the way, all while trying to find their footing as bracers and people. However, as they continue around, it becomes more and more apparent that something unsettling is happening in the kingdom. Part coming-of-age story, part cozy road trip, and part political intrigue, Trails in the Sky takes some time to build up, but that time is, in my opinion, worth it. The main party, starting with Estelle, are lively, filled with character that makes you laugh, sigh, and cheer as they are so lovable and believably flawed in their own ways. There are also many non-party members you meet along the way with memorable personalities that grow and develop as well. That development doesn't stop there, as each town and city is filled with people that, if you take the time to talk to them, will remark on the events going on in the story and about their own lives. The Trail series has always put a lot of effort into the development of the world from the bottom up. Knowing that every character you meet is going through their own journey enriches the world immeasurably, and brings another perspective to the fact that, like those characters, our main party are going through their own personal journeys while dealing with these country-impacting events that are going on around them. This is the game that launched 13 others set in the same continent with recurring characters and long-running plot lines. It makes sense that this game, as the first one, set a strong foundation for that world. From its rich history, creative, technological, and societal structure, and population of characters with well-developed inner lives, no one does world building like the Trails series, and that writing shines in the remake as well. The core gameplay loop of Trails is also well preserved, with you arriving in a new region and getting your main mission and some separate side quests from the Bracer Guild. In each area you have to complete the required missions and can choose to be doing the optional missions, but I do recommend doing every mission because that is how you build up your Bracer rank and get great rewards, and because it reveals more about what's going on around the region. But you're only required to do the ones with the red exclamation points. The main story will take you all over the place, but the side missions, in addition to reinforcing the world building from before, will take you through various challenges. You'll have requests to slay monsters, help with recipes, find lost items, and more. In both main missions and other requests, you may have opportunities that involve picking between red dialogue choices. These are choices where the game will progress if you get them wrong, but if you get it right, you get bonus Bracer points. Also, if you get it right, Estelle looks smarter and more capable, which we all want for our best girl. For fans of the original, there are also some new quests. Not a load of them, which is good because the original had plenty, but enough to give an idea of what the developers wanted to go with, such as introducing certain characters or ideas earlier in the story. The biggest change between the original and the remake comes with the combat. Where the original was a strictly turn-based battle system on a grid, the remake embraces the new system for Trails introduced in Trails Through Daybreak. This system begins the fight in the field for most encounters, with you attacking, dodging, and doing craft attacks to break your opponents. You can then continue to try and defeat them via the action combat, or switch over to command battle. You can go straight into command battle from the start, but it just makes more sense to break them first. Command battles are turn-based with your turn order on the side of the screen, and for each party member you can choose to attack, use craft points to do character-specific crafts, use EP to cast arts that can heal, buff, or attack as needed, use items, defend, or run away. When you build up enough CP, you can also unleash a super powerful S-craft to help take down your opponents, or in Chloe's case, heal them up, and those can be done out of the turn order. All of these were moves available in the original game, so what has the remake added to the command battle combat? The first I will talk about are the Brave Strikes. This feature first came in the Trails of Cold Steel games. When a character gets a critical hit on an enemy, another ally can follow up. You can make that follow-up even more powerful if you have enough Brave points to spend. Occasionally, you can activate Overdrive for your party members. This gives them a boost, increasing the chances for break strikes and activating their own personal boosts. Positioning matters for certain crafts that didn't have that wrinkle in the original. In short, the combat has been updated with a lot of the best features from the games that came after Trails in the Sky. I would say this is an overall positive set of changes because the additions were put in with care to the feel of the game. This game still feels the same as the original, with a similar style of gaining arts and strategizing, but it also feels more engaging and has the active mode to help speed along encounters and ease potential grinding. Now, with all these new features at your disposal, you'll just cruise through the enemies, right? What do they get? Well, they get Rage Boost, which is pretty much Overdrive but for our foes, and more powerful. Rage Boost increases the amount of turns enemies get and boosts stats. Early on, when I was still adjusting to the system, rage boosts were also rage-inducing on my part. As I learned and expanded my arsenal of abilities, though, this became an occasionally dangerous twist, but nothing I couldn't handle. On the whole, Trails in the Sky First Chapter is easier than the original, and I feel pretty secure in saying that, even though when I played the original I wasn't as good at RPGs as I am now. In the original, I needed New Game Plus to beat the one boss in the game you aren't required to beat. In the remake, I beat that boss on the first try. I still found the game suited the difficulty that I wanted to play at, but bear this in mind, old fans, if you are looking for the same level of challenge as you got in the original. You might have to jump up a difficulty level to reach that. One of my favorite things to do in the remake is exploring and running around. Beyond the huge technical achievement of fitting the entirety of each region into one seamlessly transitioning map, the world is a joy to explore. You'll have the enemies littered around and also treasure and items to find, rocks, pots, and grass to break, secret caves to uncover, and more. It's certainly not Xenoblade-like, but between the bonuses to your items and the pretty scenery to enjoy, I found myself more than willing to follow as Cassia said and walk everywhere I could. Thankfully though, for those who don't want to walk, you don't have to, because fast travel has been introduced to Liberl. Very convenient for the bracer on the move. Now before we get into my generally glowing comments about the presentation, I want to introduce this section, which is "This wouldn't be a problem if I hadn't played the original," where I get to go, "Back in my day, my Trails game had..." Ultimately, do I think any of these will ruin the enjoyment of new players? Absolutely not. Should older players avoid the game because of them? I would say no to that too. It's just stuff I wish could have survived the remake process, or decisions that were made that I think might have been better if it had gone a different way. Basically, these are my nitpicks. Number 1, the chest quotes. For those who don't know, the original game had a unique chest quote that you could see if you examined a chest after taking the item. I was delighted by this in the original, and it gave the game additional flair and character. It was a way for the localization team to speak directly to the players and kept up through all of the Sky and Crossbell games. Number 2, localization differences. Is it really a big deal that they renamed Esmalus Tower? Yes it is! Okay, no, it's not, but it is part of a trend of small, unnecessary changes from the series lore, which took me out of things just a little. Number 3, off of number 2, the changed pronunciation of things that were retained. Why are you pronouncing it liberal? It is liberal. Ugh, I died a little inside every time. Number 4, the change of the PC developers. Falcom decided to make the PC port in-house, and it is solid. But we have been spoiled in the Trails fandom with PH3 Games and Durante's work on the series since Trails of Cold Steel, and he does masterworks with PC ports. It is unfortunate that we had to take a step down in quality. And there you have it. Brief rant over. Let's talk about presentation. The original game had a very charming art style, one that I'm glad got a nod in the character sprites for the loading screens, but I understand that audiences today expect and want something more. The Trails in the Sky remake is something more cohesive, more vibrant, more animated. The landscapes, buildings, and characters are faithfully updated and gorgeously rendered. Being able to see the Bright's house from the clock tower in Roland, the lighthouse from Ruan Harbor, and the whole region from the top of the tetracyclic towers is amazing. The world feels alive, and then we come to the animation. Whenever the text boxes disappear, you know it's gonna be good. It's not just the art that stands out, it's the way the characters move and express themselves, and the directing and camera flourishes. Trails in the Sky remake deserved Falcom's best visual presentation and got it. Unlike the visuals, the music did not need as much updating. The tracks sound cleaner, but for the most part it seems the team left them alone and just let the music stay as catchy as always, which I think was the right approach. The remake also introduces voice acting. The original had very few voice lines limited to battle, but despite that, most of the cast from that game returned. Overall, the voice cast is very good. A definite shout out to Matthew Mercer as Olivier. Getting to play Olivier from the start of his journey shows just how talented Mercer is at adjusting his acting while staying true to the voice of the character. It did take me some time to adjust to Stephanie Shea's Estelle performance. I hope she's able to grow further into the role with more chances to shine in second chapter. As for quality of life and user experience, the main additions are fast travel and map markers for quests. Both of these are welcome additions that improve the game overall, especially when it comes to those map markers for the quests that in the original were nightmares to complete. These are big additions that make the overall experience smoother, but otherwise most of the features in the game, such as speeding up battle, were in the original. On the whole, the presentation of Trails in the Sky remake is top quality. If you would ask me what I would have wanted for a Trails in the Sky remake, I'm pretty sure what I would have described is basically what I just finished playing. A game that is very faithful to the core experience, message, and themes of the original, while embracing some of the innovations the series has made over the years. One that improves gameplay to the point that this may be my favorite iteration of Trails gameplay ever, while only slightly expanding the story and avoiding unnecessary call forwards. Trails in the Sky First Chapter is Falcom's triumph, and is getting deserved recognition for being so. I even have hope that with this experience, the team can be revitalized going into the final few games in the Trails series, and I definitely hope this smooth action, animation, and presentation can be incorporated into the East series and Tokyo Xanadu as well. What did you all think of the Trails in the Sky remake? Did it live up to your expectations and hopes? Let me know in the comments, leave this video a like, and subscribe for more RPG and Falcom related content. Thank you for watching. Have a great day, and happy gaming.